showing this.
That one.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody that's watching us here at Memory Bound. I'm Kelly, and Peggy's here today, and we have a cute little mini book called the Fold Out Mini Book, 6x6. The pattern is designed by Katie, but we do have Peggy came in and made up another book with the beautiful junk from Photoplay. So welcome, Peggy, and welcome all of our viewers. Good morning. We're glad you're here, and people are starting to join us. Peggy.
Yay.
So I'm Kelly, and Peggy's here, and we're at Memory Bound in the
We
middle of
are.
Iowa. So Joan is here, and Sherry says hello. Joan says good morning.
Hello, Sherry. Hello,
and
Joan.
Lori. I'm going to try to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't got to say hello to people. Kim says good morning, girls.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're glad you're here. And there's
I'm
Janie.
excited.
She says good morning, my friends. Isn't that sweet?
Oh, that is. That really
and
is.
Kathy just hopped on.
And Candy.
And Jean.
Jean and I have been friends for years and years
Have
and years.
You really?
Yes.
Oh my
Her
gosh.
in-laws used to live right behind us when my husband and I lived in Boone 30 some
It's a
odd
small
years ago.
world, isn't it?
So hi, Jean.
And we got Letha watching us and Peggy from Ohio. And Susan says hello.
Can open this up a little bit.
Yeah, open it up while we're
this is what we're going to show today. So just a little folio book. I'm going to show you.
Hey, Janet just hopped on. And
Janet. Yay, Janet. Hi, Janet.
I was off on Tuesday and I came in yesterday and I had quite a desk full of mostly problems, but then I had a happy bag from Janet. So thank you for that.
And you know, this is blank right now. So you guys are going to have to help me put this part together today. So there we go.
It just goes and goes and goes and goes.
And it's so much easier to put together than what you think it is.
And we Holly just joined us, and Cherie. I haven't been able to say hello to people because we have a new system, and the comments don't show very well. But Jane's here, and somebody says, "Good morning, my favorite crafty store, working from home, so they get to watch." But your name is hidden; it already went by. So sorry about that.
Jennifer.
Was it Jennifer? Okay, you can see the comments better than I can. And there's Candace.
Scrapping in her camper in Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Oh, Candace.
And Kimberly is here. Oh my gosh, it is Thursday and we're open till 7 today. So if you're out and about, it's spring break here in central Iowa, most schools.
And it's not a blizzard today. It's not,
it's not 80-mile-an-hour
rainstorm or anything like that. So we can be thankful for that. The sun is out. It's still a little windy, but at least the sun is out.
Yeah, it's a much better day today than yesterday.
Yeah.
We didn't have very many people coming in to the store physically yesterday. Most of you visited us from afar.
It was just icky out yesterday. I didn't even venture out. I didn't even venture in my garage. I stayed in my house all day.
We've got Linda from Canada.
So, Linda,
oh my gosh.
hi.
Well, welcome everybody.
Yes,
we're glad you're
Carla
joining
from
us.
Virginia.
We really appreciate you joining us. And today, Peggy, just tell us what we're going to do, and then we're going to clip the phone into our stable camera.
Sure.
And so everybody can see what we're doing.
We are going to be doing this 6x6 mini fold-out book. Katie is the one who originally put this together and wrote us directions. She had made a couple of books as examples. So Disney one that she did that folds out. I mean, just so many folds. You could do so many different things. You'll see her fold outs, and the way she laid hers out is a lot different than mine. She added some photo flips into hers, which is just such a fun idea. I mean, the mini book that you put together here, there's so many possibilities. You can put it together however you want. There's no right, there's no wrong. It just goes together and you just have fun with it. So there's the Disney one that she did.
And that's from the classic Mickey Mouse from Simple Stories.
From Simple Stories.
And actually Simple Stories originated this album. I didn't know if you knew this or not. It was a it was a trade show class, and Katie made it up, and then she redid the directions totally and made it what she thought was much easier. And then she did this
one for Halloween. And when she showed this one, when she did this one and showed this one, I loved it, and that was when I knew that I wanted to make one at some point. I just had to have the right materials, the right idea, the right time to do it. And so um, again, this just has some fun little, fold outs in it, a little bit different than how I did mine. But that's kind of the joy of it. You can do it however you want to do it. However it comes together for you is how it should work. I love that she does these the
Little
flips that come
flips.
up. I didn't do that in mine, but I just thought those are
Well, it's
so
nice to see all the
cute.
different ones. And this is
Yeah.
made with the Photo Play Little Boo Halloween
Hmm.
collection. And Janet
I mean, how
just linked
adorable.
our blog post about this
Hmm.
project.
I mean, this is just so cute. I love, the different photo mats that she put in here. So many cute ideas to go with this fold out, the directions with the fold out mini book. Like I said, you can do it any way you want. And really, looking at the Disney one, looking at the Halloween one, and then looking at the one that I did, for myself, they all are very different, but we're all starting with the same directions. We're all starting with the same basic book. So we have the written directions right there, and it's really quite easy to do. You start off you have two 12 by 12 sheets that you start with that you cut 12 by 6 1/4, and this is going to be your cover.
So
You
you have two 12 by
mm-hmm.
6 1/4s.
Yep.
Okay.
6 1/4 wide, 12 long. These are your covers, your front and back. You'll put those together. And Katie has it written in the directions so easily where it says panel A, B, and C. So you know exactly how it's going to come together.
Nice.
And then the next thing you do is you pick out 5 different paper. Well, they don't even have to be different. You can use the same. You have 5 strips of paper that are cut 12 by 6. Those are going to be your inserts. So start with 12 by 6, and then we'll trim them down a little bit to fit into the album. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to
Should we
just kind
flip
of
our
put
camera?
together. Yeah,
Let's flip our
let's flip the
camera around.
camera.
So
Hmm.
Peggy, just review what you need
Hmm.
while I go and change the camera because I
Sure.
gotta go to a different place.
Yeah, what you need to start with, 2 sheets of cardstock or whatever you want to use for your cover. Um, and these are cut 12 by 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 12. And then in the directions, it tells you where to score them. You'll score, one at 6 1/4 and at 7 inches. That's, panels A and B. And then panel C, you're going to score at 1 inch, 2 1/8 inch, 2 3/4 inch, and 9 inch. So you'll see that, you'll be able to see my score lines here. But that's where you score it so that it can all fold up together. And then you need 5 sheets of paper that you cut 12 by 6, and those are going to be your inserts. And those will trim down a little bit on some of those, but the directions are right there. The directions are so easy to follow. Um, and it comes together so quick. So it's just a lot of fun to do. So we'll start. I'm going to start with my panel A, my base. I will fold where I've done my scoring.
Okay, one
Right on
second.
here.
We're gonna get our camera
Oh,
switched here.
sorry.
Peggy, I couldn't
Mhm.
find it. So, all right. So let me adjust that
Okay.
then.
Oh, there we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. I need to
So do we
go
need
over
to
this way.
go over this way, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
How's that?
Yep. I think that works fine. I'll scooch a little bit.
Probably
There we
don't
go.
need.
I'll put my directions up here. You can still see them.
All right.
There we
got
go.
we
All
got it.
righty.
We got it.
Yay.
We had to call Doug in to help me,
Yep.
but we got it, guys.
So I don't know if you can kind of see my score. There, you can kind of see my score
There we can
marks
see it,
on
Peggy.
there. So you see, I've already pre-scored them. So this is panel C. I've done panel A, panel B, and then panel C. So on this, let me fold these up too a little bit.
So Peggy, it tells you the score lines.
It tells you the score lines and everything. You just score it where it says.
So you would need a scoring tool and
scoreboard, scoring tool.
score blade. and
Mhm.
probably a
Yep.
crease tool.
Yeah, this is my crease tool that I use at home. Can you see how old it is?
Yeah, that is
It's from
pretty old.
2005. Anybody ever go to a CKU when Creating Keepsakes had those? I got this one when I went to Kansas City in 2005. So
So
I've been scrapbooking for a
you're
while.
due for a new one, I would
I'm due
say.
for a new, this is a distress tool actually, and I just use it, because I'm one of those people that kind of grabs what's on my table whenever I can.
It sounds like Janet has
Mhm.
the same tool, Peggy.
Does she?
Yeah.
Hey, they're durable. That's what I like. Okay, so our first step in putting this album together is putting the front panel together with the back panel. So we are going to the 1-inch piece of panel C, which is your second sheet, your back sheet. We're going to glue that onto the first inch of panel B. So it's going to come on like that. We're going to glue those two together, and that is what's going to put our book together. And then we'll have our book, we'll have the cover, the outside covers of our book all together. So I'm just going to use my glue.
And do you recommend a liquid glue, Peggy,
Yes, I
or can
do.
you use score tape?
You can use score tape, but I think the liquid glue is going to be just a little bit sturdier and hold it together a little bit better. So, and it'll also give you a little more wiggle room as you put it together, so you can make sure that you get it on there nice and straight. So we're just going to put the first inch onto the last inch over here. So I think I'm going to go this way with it. I'm going to put my glue down, my glue side down, and then I should have probably done these in 2 different colors so you could see it better.
Well, I think the thing about Katie's directions is they are
Yeah.
color coded, which is really helpful.
Very much so, very much so.
And Joan just asked about the directions, and yes, we do have directions for this that Katie had made up.
Yes, we do.
And okay, we got a squirrel moment too.
Okay.
Candy, we love squirrel moments.
Yes, we do.
I live for squirrel moments. But anyway, we have all the vault dies are back in stock except for, I believe it's called Noteworthy. And that one will be back in stock in about a week. That one had sold out from our distributor, but they had just got them back in, so we should have it in a week. But the other ones are all back in stock.
Oh gosh, I did it wrong already.
It happens, especially when we're all watching.
Oh my
Peggy,
gosh.
that's when it happens. But just
C goes on to
tell us
B.
what to do, and we'll know not to do it
C
that
goes
way.
on to B. Don't put C onto A. Don't do it. It won't fold up right for you.
Janet linked the directions. They're $1.29,
Yeah.
so they're very inexpensive.
So they go there. Let me just shoot a little more glue in there. It always happens when you're on live, right?
Yes, it does. But you know what? Everybody, all the memory bound people are cool about everything.
They are. They realize that we are human.
That's true.
And that is so kind of them.
Well, and sometimes you're doing, you guys, if you've done something like these videos, you'll understand that sometimes you're, I don't know if I want to say nervous, but you plan and plan and plan, and sometimes things just happen.
Yeah. And sometimes when we're working, sometimes we work upside down.
Yes. And
I'm not today,
now
but
she has to work right side up, and that messes us up also.
Okay, so there we go. So I have all my panels, my A panel, my B panel, and my C panel. They're all together. So those are all together. Then we are going to put our inserts in. We've got our cover all done. We're going to put our inserts in. And I have already kind of scored and cut my inserts. So the first one that we're going to put on is insert 1. And insert 1 is cut 10 by 6 and then scored at 10 by 6 and scored at 6. So you'll have a 6-inch and a 4-inch. And the 4-inch is going to be that's going to be your flap. So we are going to glue the 6-inch part onto panel A. So this is going to be the inside cover.
Oh, okay.
Okay. see, my glue
So
doesn't wanna
that
come out.
goes right up, right on top of it then,
Yep,
Peggy, on top of the
Yeah.
inside?
I need to ring the bell and get a different, wait, I've got the glue here. I'm sorry. I've got some.
Looks like Peggy might have ran out of glue.
So, there we go. Now it's coming out. Now we're good. Now we're cooking with gas, as my 5-year-old grandson would say. I have to put that back on there in between uses so it doesn't dry out. But the 6-inch one is going to come on this cover, and you're going to have just a little bit of a border around there. So you're going to have kind of a little bit of a mat because it's cut 1/4 of an inch shorter, and that's how we want it. We want that little mat, and then we have that fold there. All right, so there's your flap. There's insert 1. Insert 2 is cut 12 by 6. Again, we're going to score it at 3 inches and at 6 inches or at 9 inches. So then it can come together like that. So it flaps together like that. And we are going to put this on panel B. Now panel B, you have to remember you need to leave the space where the spine is on either side, but panel B is in between there. So we're going to put it right there.
I like how you did multiple colors for us, Peggy, to help us see what.
Well, and this paper that I'm using here comes from the Bunnies and, is it Bunnies? What? Bunnies and Baskets from Echo Park. And it's their Easter line. And it is just a fun line with nice bright colors in it. And I thought, well, you know, I'll use these solids as the background because then I could use the pattern papers to kind of decorate it up, whether I want to, you know, use them for photo mats or whatever. So again, we're going to put this on panel B, leaving that space where the spine is that we've scored. And again, it's going to be just a little bit shorter than the panel because it looks like it's matted on there. And that's, I like that look. I like that look a lot. So there's insert 2, and this will open up. Now, if you want, one of the things you can do, and I didn't bring a corner rounder with me, but you can round the corners on these, on the flips too. And that kind of adds another little interest to the page. So now we're going to move on to insert number 3. And insert number 3 is again cut 12 by 6 and scored again at 3 and 9. And we are going to attach the flap for this onto this flap, okay? So this is going to be loose here, but we're going to glue these two together. So I keep moving over.
You're good.
Peggy's I'm kind of like Katie.
She's shifting south. She's going south.
I'm kind of like Katie, you know? So we're going to then glue this on.
I'm going to shift you east.
Okay.
A little bit. So we're not having an earthquake in Iowa, everybody. Kelly's
we're just shifting.
Decided to adjust this. There we go.
Not important that you watch how I glue because everybody knows how to glue. So then we're going to put our 3-inch flips together, okay? So those flaps are going to come together.
You're explaining this so well, and I love that you did the different colors to help us out.
You can see it a little bit better, yeah. So those flips are going to come together.
About the glass mat, and that is the Tim Holtz glass media mat. And it's the full size, and I don't know if you can tell what size it is.
It is what?
22 by.
Yeah, 22 by what? I don't know. By 12? No, 16. 5 to 12. Yeah, 12.
It's about 22 by 12, so it's probably more like 23 by 13 or something like that.
It's wonderful. I have the smaller travel one at home, and I love it. I just love it.
Peggy, you were excited today when you came in.
I know, to see
saw the mat there.
I was. It was like, oh, good, I get to use that. Okay, now we're going to go to panel 4. Panel 4, even though we're going to start that, it starts as 12 by 6, but we're going to cut it down to 9 by 6. And this piece, we're not going to score. We are going to put it on this panel, on panel C. So it's going to come right here, okay? This is where it goes on panel C. Oops. Does it go on the back? I think it goes on the back. No, it doesn't. This is where I messed up before. Panel C is going to come right here. And then Katie, you might have to help me on this one. Okay, so does this one go here, even though it's not scored?
Here, hand me my
Looks like it's
October
cut.
Uh-huh.
one. It does take a
I
team
cut mine
sometimes.
just
All right,
because.
we're double
Yeah,
checking
we're
this.
double
But
checking
while
this
you
one.
do that,
Mhm.
This
can I
Yeah.
address a
Mhm.
question while you
Yes,
do that?
absolutely.
Cheryl's asking about our daily videos. And Cheryl, our plan is to have our daily videos
Mhm.
on Facebook and YouTube. And the problem that we've always done them on Facebook, but last month, Facebook decided
Mhm.
that live videos weren't really very popular after
Right.
the first couple weeks, and they
Mhm.
decided they would only store them for 30 days. So we're frantically working to get our older live videos transferred to our
Mhm.
YouTube channel, and then going forward, we are broadcasting on both so that we can have them
This one
last a
comes
little
here.
longer. Now,
I think this one
let's see,
comes
what
here.
day was it? Tuesday, we were doing just showing new product in a store tour, so we only broadcasted on Facebook that
Mhm.
day. And you
Mhm.
know, you guys, I so appreciate all your patience.
Mhm.
We are using a
Yeah.
new system
Mhm.
called Restream that will broadcast at both places at one time, and
Mhm.
it's gotten a little tricky, I will say, and
Yeah,
we're learning it
we
and
are.
flipping cameras around. Man, we're in the big
Mhm.
time, Peggy.
Right? Aren't we
We're so
though?
in the big time.
I know it. Okay, so this panel 4 is the back inside cover.
And I
Okay.
didn't score it
Yeah.
because you just lay it over.
Okay.
You score this.
Yep.
And Janet
Okay.
just linked
All right.
our YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to that, and
So
then
there
you'll
we go.
get notifications. Hey, Memory Bound's got a new video.
Mhm.
Check it out.
Yep. Okay, and we didn't score this piece because our cover is already scored and we didn't want to have to worry about matching it up. So we will fold it over,
Oh,
and
good idea.
that way, you know, it matches. So we're good there. Okay. So there. So now it looks like it's been scored even though it hasn't. But it's working. Okay, so then our final panel, panel number 5, or is the page insert for panel number 3. Doesn't that make sense? It's just a little confusing, but when you do this, this is panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, or insert, I'm sorry, and then insert 4. And this insert is going to go on top of the back side of insert number 3. So insert 1, insert 2, insert 3, and insert 5 goes on the back side of insert
And
3.
insert 4 is on the back cover.
And this is insert 4.
Okay.
Okay? Alrighty, so we're going to glue this in.
Peggy
And
will get them
again,
all glued, and then she can show
Yep.
us again.
And then again, you can use whatever kind of paper you want on here. I just happen to choose the, you know, the solids from the Echo Park Easter line, the bunnies and baskets. I think I got it right that time. Because I just like the brightness of it. And then I thought I could always go through and decorate the pages with all the different, you know, pretty patterns in the
That's a good point.
collection. So again, this is going to be here.
Well, and it's nice to see you kind of did yours with solids, and
Mhm.
Katie has her
A lot of,
sample.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
we can show the
Mhm.
samples again at the
Yep.
end. Peggy's got a
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful one to walk through
Yep.
and show us.
Mhm. And this one, I really liked this one because it has that double fold on it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
neat.
now if you don't want the double fold, you can cut it off. If you don't want either fold, you can cut it off. It doesn't matter.
Could be
It's
a pocket.
yours.
You could
Yeah,
make
it can
that
make a great
pocket.
pocket right here. That's a, you know, either way, it could go
There's
with a
so
pocket.
many
That's a great idea.
opportunities.
Love that idea. So believe it or not, it's all put together. So we have it all put together. And what did that take? 15 minutes?
So basically,
Mhm.
you started with 7 pieces. Peggy?
Yep. 5 inserts and the 2 panel pieces, so you have 7 pieces, and now it's all put together.
Peggy, I don't know
And you
about
have
anybody else,
lots of
but I want
folds
to
and
make one of
funds.
those. Now I want to make one.
Mhm. I know,
After
it's
seeing
fun.
yours,
It's
yes.
just fun to do. It's kind of fun to see how it all comes together, and there's our little book. And, once you have all these pieces all put together on here, it's really pretty sturdy, especially when you start decorating it up.
Mhm.
So it's going to be able to stand the test of time for you. So there's our book. The front cover, the back cover. So, panels A, B, and C, those are your cover panels, and then your 5 inserts. So insert 1, insert 2, insert 3, insert 4, and insert 5. So you can decorate them up any way you want. You can build pockets. You can use it, as a junk journal. I mean, I think that's kind of where mine started, was the idea of junk journaling, even though junk journaling wasn't, I didn't feel confident in junk journaling. And I don't know why I thought that I could, really do a lot. So mine
But you
became
did.
mine became more of an art journal type of thing, because it gave me opportunity to try some things that I necessarily wouldn't always do um, on like a normal project, like a layout or even a card or anything like that. I'm finding that I'm really liking stenciling and inking and things like that. I enjoy doing things like that. And so I thought this would give me a great opportunity to to work on my groupings, my clusters, and adding inks, and just doing things that I don't normally do. And so that's kind of where it started. And then I thought, I've never really documented or written down any of my thoughts when it came to when I retired last year. And for those of you that have retired or are getting close to retirement, that's a big decision to make. It's a real change in life. And so I thought that it's really important to kind of document those things, to write down those ideas and things. And so that was kind of where I started, where this started. I had actually seen the Beautiful Junk collection, which is the collection that I'm using today. And I had seen that, in some of the cut aparts that are in the collection just kind of, that's what kind of drew me to the collection to start with. And so let me show you a couple of those real quick. Um, the one that really grabbed me first was, your life is your story, write it well, edit often, on this one. And this is Amazing from the Beautiful Junk collection. So the paper is called Amazing, but that is really where I wanted to start. And then I saw the cut apart that says, if it doesn't open, it's not your door. And
Jeez,
that
that's so
really
cool.
spoke to me too, because I'm thinking, my life is really changing. It's going to, take on, a different, um, I'm going to be going down some different avenues and trying some different things. And I was really excited by that. And I thought, I don't have to make concrete decisions about what direction I want to go today, because maybe if I go down this path, that really isn't it. That's not the way I wanted to go. Originally, I thought, well, maybe I'd go into real estate, after I retired, and kind of do that. I thought that kind of sounded fun. But if anybody has ever gone through that 400,000-hour class to become a realtor, I decided that wasn't my thing. So, I thought, well, that was maybe a door that was open. Well, not really. It wasn't my door. So then when I got the opportunity to, come here and share my passion and just join this incredible team at Memory Bound, that was the door that
And
opened, and that was
we're
my
glad
door.
that door opened for
So
sure.
so that paper spoke to me. And then I also really liked all the different cut aparts on this page. It's called My Story. This paper is called My Story. And you'll see throughout my little album that I've cut this piece apart a lot and used a lot of these pieces, and little bits here and little bits there. So those are two of the pieces that I really used a lot, cutting apart. The other pieces in the collection, you're going to see how I kind of strategically maybe cut some of these apart to, make them into the different folds and flaps and things like that. The cover, you'll see that. I use this part as my back cover, and you'll see how I did that. I mean, this paper is just gorgeous.
It
I
is
love
beautiful.
it. You know, the tags on here, I use those. This is from the flea market sheet. As I said, this one right here is called Good Life. And I just thought this is just a great back cover part, you know, and you can figure out how to strategically cut and use those things. And then this one I really loved, especially this edge over here. And you'll see that in the album too. But I mean, look at this page too. I mean, think of all the little pieces that you can cut for journaling, and you'll see that I've used that, and I've used, you know, some different pieces in here too. It's just so pretty. I just think it's gorgeous. And the nice thing about the collection pack, if you buy the collection pack, you get 2 of each of those sheets. So you can cut into one sheet and still save that second sheet because you might be afraid to cut into the second sheet.
I forgot that
I'm
they
just
do it that
speaking,
way.
you know, I'll say saying that for a friend, but actually it's me. I was a little afraid to cut into that second sheet, so I was glad had 2 of each. So I really like that. Other things that I used in my little journal, and these are things that were used in the junk journal, the junk journal jump kit that we had, the
Yep,
jump into
the
it,
junk start, the
the
junk
junk
start
start
kit.
kit. You know, Diane's little um, what are these called? Journal
Journal
sheet.
cards.
Yeah, journal cards. Um,
And you can get the
little,
journal cards. We
yeah.
have those
Mhm.
available.
The tickets, you know, that sort of thing. So those are the things I kind of use some of those same things to start decorating my cover. I just used I'm not sure which of them, but I just chose one of the backs and cut it 6 by 6 because the cover is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, so 6 by 6, and kind of inked around that. And then I decided, you know, I needed to use this piece here, and so I kind of cut that to create a pocket. And then I use the ephemera, and let me grab that ephemera real quick too.
Oh, I didn't know you had the here,
Yeah,
Peggy.
you got
We
the
just had a
hold on.
question
Okay, the
about the
ephemera.
collection pack.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
brought that over. I didn't realize you had it. And they were asking if the papers
Yes.
you used are all in the collection
Yes, and
pack.
I started with the collection pack. I bought the collection pack because I knew it was going to give me 2 sheets of each paper. So I started with that, and that's kind of where I went with it. And then I also had the ephemera package, which is really pretty. You'll see this piece right here is this frame
Oh,
right
that's
here.
okay.
So, and I thought, wow, this is just perfect because it fits that quote just fine. So the quote, you know, from here, I just actually cut this journal card because it was, you know, 6 inches by 4 inches, and I just cut it, and then I used my paper distresser and distressed the edges of it.
Oh, and then you put the
And inked it, and then I put it on here
oh, nice grouping, Peggy.
to create a pocket. And then this piece, I'm not real sure where that one came from.
The little piece that looks like tape.
Yeah, it's from some, it was a little scrap of something somewhere that I used, and I just kind of cut it out. I think it came from one of these over here, maybe.
From one of the papers.
Yeah, it was just a little bit that I cut right there. It came from the to-do list right here, and I just cut that out. I mean, the
That's
one
a good
thing
idea.
when I look at like these collage pieces of paper, I look at like the different smaller elements, like this piece right here, or this right here, or even this circle. You'll see that one, you'll see this one. I don't mind fussy cutting. Sometimes fussy
I like
cutting can be
fussy cutting.
relaxing. So I will use those little pieces in there, and and actually they give me some ideas too, because, you know, I didn't have washi tape that matched this, so why not kind of imitate that the washi tape. I could have used the sellotape from Tim. I think that
Yeah,
would have
that's a
been
good
really
idea
pretty
too.
on here too. But I just didn't have that right at my hand. It was in a drawer, and I wasn't going to get up off my chair and go get it. So I just cut out what I had. So now you know what kind of scrapper I am. I
Confession
get a little bit
101.
lazy about things like that.
That's
So
funny.
then I just used, you know, one of the tags from the collection pack, and just kind of put that in here. And I glued that down because I didn't want it coming out. But I cut, some of those other small pieces, and I used a little ticket. I have
Oh, from the
yeah, the
tickets.
ticket essentials from 49 in Market. And if you got the Junk Start, you got some
You got
tickets
some
in that
tickets in the junk start, yeah.
collection too. So I just kind of added that on there. And you'll see none of my tags have ribbon on them. I'm sorry, Teresa, they don't. But I'm okay with that. I just didn't add that. So I have that, and then I added a couple more tickets, and I got real heavy with ink on here too. So I added that, and I actually glued those to the pocket. I didn't glue it to the back because I needed to make sure that this could come in and out. So I glued it um, to the front of the pocket, to the panel there. And then this piece right here um, is from the sticker sheet. And it's actually two stickers. One is the greenery, one is the flower, and that came from the sticker sheet. And I used a lot of these stickers. So, here's the flower, there's one of the greeneries. So those are the two pieces that I used, and I layered those together and just put that on the corner. This too came from the sticker sheet, I believe. This story came from the sticker sheet. And this piece right here, I believe came from the ephemera, and then another ticket there. So I just kind of layered those things together. And like I said, distress the pocket, ink that up, put it all together. And then I wanted to have something about, the reason for this little folio. And so I wanted the definition of retirement. So I just went online, Googled retirement definition, and printed that out right onto the little journal card. So and this right here is rub-on. This is already printed on the journal card. The flower with Keep It Simple is from the rub-on sheets. And I use the rub-ons a lot in so there it is. I use them a lot. You'll see those all over my journal. So then we go to this page, and this one I got a little busy with inks and layers and things like that. I started off with just a piece of vellum, and I used a stencil that I had. This is from the family from is it Cartabella or Echo
Cartabella,
Park
yep.
family line that I had at home, and I just used my brush corduroy because that's my
That's
go-to.
her
I like that
color.
warm brown,
Brush
and I
corduroy.
just stenciled that. This is cut, I think 5 by 5, maybe I trimmed it down a little bit. So the brush corduroy is what I stenciled, and then I just attached that to the background of the page. And then you'll see from that earlier sheet, I just punched that out and added that and popped it up because my journaling goes underneath it a little bit. And my journaling here talks a little bit about how the idea of retirement really started. And this piece right here is from one of the collage sheets on the collection too. I cut that out. And I don't know if
They
I'm gonna be
just
able to
asked
find
what
it.
paper you're using. I think someone joined us late.
Okay, it's beautiful junk
Is it this one,
from whatever. This is on something. Oh, there. Everything is figured out.
It's on the back. I think it's just the back of this one, isn't it?
I'm sorry, guys.
It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't really. It's
because
the back of this
everything
one.
she used was from Beautiful
Yeah,
Junk.
beautiful junk. So it's this right here
Oh, there it is.
that I used.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so that's what I used to cut this out. And so that's what I decided. You'll see, I trimmed it down a little
That's a
bit, but
good
that was
idea.
what I used. I kind of tore the edges because you'll see that it's, I had to tear an edge to get it to fit in there. So that was what I used. I thought, well, why not use what's already there? And then I just kind of journaled on there. And then I could just pop it right in here. And that, kind of, it gives, my family the idea of why sometimes, well, why did you think, why did you want to retire at this age? Because I wasn't quite 65.
We're
But I
happy
had
that she
reasons.
did. We're
But I
very
had
happy
reasons.
that
I
she
mean, my
did.
mom got sick. I had to take care of her and things. And that's just the direction that life took me. And so again, heavy with the ink. This is one of the tags from the tag sheet that I distressed and inked up really well. This is one of those little cut aparts from the cut apart sheet. Again, I'm just looking for different things. These little green stripe pieces came from this piece right here on the in the ephemera. I just cut the green pieces off and just put one on top, one on bottom. This also came from the ephemera
It's a
right
nice
here.
accent, that
And
color
I like
is.
that bright color. I mean, it's a lot brighter than what I would have normally thought to use, but I really liked how it went, especially with that butterfly. And then once you ink it up, you know, you can put those darker tickets and things like that. The butterfly here is from the sticker sheet. I just think they really did a nice job of bringing all these things together in here. And so, you know, as you remember when we put together our first panel, it was, you know, the two pieces. It was the 6x6 and the 4x6 part, and that folded up. And so here I just, you know, used one of the cut aparts from the sheet and put that on there. There's a strip in the papers that, you know, I thought this green and white stripe is going to be my accent all the way through. So it's going to be like my 25% color that I'm going to use through here. And so I did that. And you'll see I did use a little bit of spritz in here. I spritzed with peel paint. I thought that was just a really pretty
Yeah.
on there. And then I also took the peel paint distress ink and I had a little stamp right here.
Is that this one, Peggy?
Yep, it's the woodware stamp. And I actually bought this stamp for this one right here, the one that said Roma Torino, because, you know, our family is an Italian family and I'm going to be headed that direction here in another month. And so I thought, well, I'm going to use that on there because, you know, part of retirement was also being able to maybe uh, you know, click some things off my bucket list. And that's what I really wanted to do. So I wanted to include that in there. So that's why that's
Peggy,
there.
that stamp set's called Extra Postmarks, and it's only $4.99.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
But it is woodware, and that means what we have is what we have.
And, you know, if you do get it, I mean, these are small enough. They can fit anywhere on a card or anything. Great for junk journaling too. And so then on this side of that panel, that 4-inch panel, I wanted to put a cut apart in there, but I wanted to be able to lift it. So I did the cut apart, I put it on there, I framed it with the larger frame that's in the ephemera piece, and then this fleur de whatever.
Fleur de lis?
Yep, is a rub on, and I just put that on just a strip of cardstock. I use the Simple Stories Color Vibe warm white on here as my base, and I just did that and inked it up. And then I thought, well,
So
I
that's
can't
from
have
the
that.
rub-ons, right?
Yeah, this
Peggy's
is from the rub-ons.
Okay.
That's from the
Did
rub-ons.
you show the
just a strip.
pearls?
Not yet. I haven't. I forgot that part because I added some pearls onto this tag on panel 1. So I don't know if you can see that right up here. There you go. You can see it. And I use the honeybee pearls that are the warm pearls. And these are such
Really,
pretty
all those
colors
colors
to go
would look good with that, wouldn't
it goes so well with it. I just loved it. But I also then thought, well, I need something to cover up, you know, the backside of my card here, you know, for the lift. So that's why I said, you mean, I just, you know, I mean, they're just like scraps that I had laying on there. I thought, well, that's going to fit there. That's going to work well. It's going to flow right through there. And it just worked. So that was that. Now I did take a little piece of just some leftover paper to fill in where the seams are, you know, for the fold, what are they called? The spine of the book on both sides so that I could cover that up so it wouldn't just be cardstock. You could leave it at cardstock, it would be fine. So now we have our next panel, and this is a panel that folds up. Oops, it goes this way.
So which panel is that?
Okay,
is that panel?
So this is panel 1. And now we're on to panel 2.
Okay.
So panel 2 was the one that is 12 by 6 by 12. And so you have your 6 inches here, 3 and 3. So you scored those each at 3 and at 9 to create this fold. And again, I rounded my edges because I just liked how that looked. So then on this one, again, when I talk about, you know, creatively cutting your paper, selectively cutting your paper, you'll see that on this flap, this is the part that I wanted to show on here. So I used that, kind of measured out how that went, you know, 6s and then cut out to 3, and that's what that is. And then I just added, this is a sticker from the sticker sheet right here that I added on. And then I added, these are the moments, that is from the rub-ons. So, you can put rub-ons on anything that you want.
You put
It's
it
right
on a
there.
sticker.
So I
That's
put it on
awesome.
a sticker. So
Good
that works
idea.
right there. And then I just added a few gems. And that was how easy and quick that flap went. On this side, on this flap, I wanted to kind of create a pocket, but I didn't think about that until after I had already glued my paper down. So this is from one of the cut apart pieces. I took my X-Acto knife and just cut across there just to kind of give myself a little bit of a pocket, and then I could just pop a few little pieces, ephemera pieces in there. This is a little rub on the little moth. I didn't want to cut all the way across because I didn't want to cut into that flower, which is part of the rub on, or part of the cut apart. I just kind of wanted to cut there, pop those in, and then this is all one piece as well. And so I just kind of tried to ink there, and it was already glued down, so I just kind of trimmed my pieces down. So that admit one is from the cut apart sheet, a little ticket there, and that also is from the cut apart sheet, a little thing. I could have stamped,
Yeah, you could have
I could have
used
stamped, but I
your
wasn't thinking
woodware
about that day.
extra
Yeah,
postmark stamp.
I could have used that right there. So so that was that. I used a couple little hearts. I think I punched a heart, and one was already from the ephemera pack, just to add there. So that's how that panel went. And then in here, I don't have any journaling or anything in here yet. There will be eventually. I just don't have it that far done yet. But I wanted to create a pocket in that middle part as well. And so I just did that. This over here, again, is just a little grouping of a rub on there from the ephemera, some tickets through here. This is a sticker. This is actually from the Jumpstart
Oh, the
kit.
junk start?
Yep. The sheet of paper that you get with that, with the little words and things with the camera and stuff. And then just, again, the sticker. And just kind of, layered
You're
things on
always
top
good
of
at
that.
grouping things together.
And this right here is a rub-on. I just thought that would be really pretty right there. So, and what I liked about this paper here coming across, it looks like it's already a pocket that's created because it has those
does,
little
yeah.
things in there. So I could go ahead and keep adding things to it. So here, I just added a couple of the tags from the tag sheet, and then
So here's the
yep,
paper, Peggy, if
yep,
that
there's the
helps for
paper
people to
right there.
visualize
So
it.
you can see that. And I just, cut, my 6-inch piece from that. There's my strip right there. So,
That is pretty
it's
clever,
already,
isn't it?
it was already there for me. I then did add in this middle part, it kind of matches, I just took a little bit from this that I had, because this is only 6. I had all this stuff left. So I just cut another little panel to create the pocket. So it's double layered there. So then I could stick things in there. And this, again, it will be something that I'll journal on right here. This is the journal
Is
card.
that a journal card?
Yep.
Because we
one
need
of
to
the
show
journal
those.
cards.
We have questions. Here's
Yeah.
one right here, Peggy.
Oh,
We
okay.
have questions
Yep.
about that. I don't think we showed it earlier.
This is from Diane's when she did her cards, her craft along, when she did her cards, I think last week that she did, and she used these. So this is just a package. They're all different. You get 4 different cards. You get 2 of each in the package. The packages are all different. So, but I don't think it goes with both beautiful
goes with
junk
a lot
and
and
everyday
everyday.
junk. It's going to go with anything like that.
Now, those are actually the
Mhm.
Tim Holtz journal
Yes.
cards that used to come in a 100 pack.
Yep.
They're no longer available, and we had some we were able to package,
Yep.
and they are $2.49 for
Mhm.
8 different cards.
But yeah, so I use like these tags. I can journal on that. I can journal on this as well. I liked how it all kind of tucked in there really nice. So, and I'm thinking that I'll probably put a photo from when I retired, my last day of work, in there too.
That's a good idea.
So, and again, when I talked about this being kind of an opportunity, this little portfolio folio being kind of an opportunity for me to try things. I am not a stamper. I don't stamp much at all, but I I really like the look of the stamps. And so I had gotten the Curiosity Shop stamp from Tim Holtz. And so that's what this typewriter
That's
is from.
Curiosity Shop?
It's Curiosity Shop. I don't think we have it in stock
Okay,
right
it's
now. I
probably
don't
on,
know.
Teresa probably has
Yeah.
it on order.
So I just used that. I thought, I'm writing my story. That's what it
That's
says.
neat. Yeah, that
I'm
goes
writing
with a
my
lot.
story. So let's put the typewriter in there. And then this is from the rub-ons, and this is a sticker. So I think it's a sticker.
Okay, and Peggy, we have a
Mhm,
couple questions. Are
mhm.
you going, before you go to
Oh,
your
I'm
next
sorry.
section,
Mhm.
we have a couple questions. Some are related, some aren't. We had a question about gel plates, and we
Okay.
have the one from Delusions that
Mhm.
has, I think, is it 3 different pieces on there?
Looks like
So we
4,
do,
yeah, 3.
we do have the gel
3.
plate
Mhm.
there, which you can, we have not
Yep.
ever really shown these or
No.
demoed them, but they're good for background making.
Mhm. I have some of these on Instagram. So
Yeah.
yeah, three of them. You have the long rectangle, the smaller rectangle, and the circle.
And Peggy, how much is that?
This is $39.99.
Okay, and then
Mhm.
so there's our gel plate.
Mhm.
And then Denise is also retiring, and you've
Yay,
given her a lot
Denise.
of good
Yay,
questions.
yay.
And everybody loves your
Mhm.
project. A
Mhm.
couple questions is what cardstock did you use for the foundation? And they want to know how you got your
Mhm.
typewritten
Yep.
journaling on that very first section.
I used Simple Stories Warm White. That is my
So use
base. That
color.
was
So that's Color Vibe.
Color Vibe Warm White. That was, my cover that I used. So the first 2 pieces, my cover pieces right there, were both cut out of the warm white. So you'll need 2 sheets of that because you have to cut it to 6 1/4, 12 by 6 1/4, and that's what the base is. You can kind of see that around there. And then I just used all of the beautiful junk papers were the papers that I used for each of my 5 panels that
And
I
that's
cut.
from Photo Play.
Yep,
They have
Photo Play.
everyday junk and they have beautiful junk.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also asking about your journaling
Oh,
on
the
that
journaling
first card.
on this one. I cut out that piece from the I cut out this piece and kind of measured it to see how big it was, how big I needed it to be on my in my project, and then I wrote it in my word processing on my computer, and then I printed it out just on regular printer paper, and then the piece that I cut out, I made sure that my journaling fit in there, and then I just used my repositionable adhesive from Easy Runner, and I kind of taped it down onto my computer paper that I'd already printed this out on. So I kind of measured it out, made sure it all fit on there, put it in there, and then ran it back through my printer. And that is how I do all of my journaling. So I'll print it out on just regular, printer paper. So let's say it's right here. I'll kind of figure out, place it on there. I'll attach it with the with the repositionable, and then I'll run it back through my printer.
And Peggy,
Mhm.
when I do that, I start out with a text box.
Yes,
In Word, I would
in the
use a
size,
text box
yes,
with the size that you
Yep,
want, and then
yep,
just type
mhm,
away.
yep, and just do that. It's really, once you do it a couple of times, it it gets easier and easier to get that placement on things. The first few times it's like, oh, is it right? Practice first is what I'll say, but as you do more and more, it gets a lot easier. All right, so we'll move on to our next part, and that is this one. And this is, I just used one of the papers.
It looks like it's,
Oh, it's this one.
is it that
Yep,
one?
So I used the top part of this one. So, I had already cut this out for the journaling. I used the top part of this to go all the way across here. And I cut it into the 6 by 6, the 3 by 6, the 3 by 6, so that it would come all the way across. I wanted it to flow across. I wanted all the papers to match. So you can see where the roses kind of match. You can see where this little thing kind of matches here. And so then what I did here, I got a little more creative with stencils and in ink on this one. You'll see I've already kind of talked about that, but in the background, I don't know if you can see my little diamonds on there that I stenciled. That's a Tim Holtz stencil that I stenciled with. Um, And so that was kind of the background. I wanted to keep it a little bit lighter than this because I really wanted that to be able to be seen. And then the middle part, I just made another pocket because I'm going to be filling, journaling and things like that. Again, I went back with my stamp. I thought, well, I need to put how old I am on that, which, you don't really need to see that, but if you can see my stamping, it shows that I'm 63, and that was what I was the day after I retired is I turned 63. So it was just a perfect time to retire. I used vellum. I stamped that on vellum, and I just used my regular distress ink, made sure it was good and dry before I handled it after that. But I just want it to be very light. This right here, rub on at a glance, because I thought, well, this would be a good thing to write about my final day of work and my thoughts on that. So, I think when we get to that point where we can retire, it is an amazing day. You've had an amazing career. You've had an amazing life. So let's use that word. I want to put some of the details. These are the tags, from the cut aparts. I did trim that one down to make it a little bit shorter. And then I just kind of used this little frame that was in the ephemera piece because I thought once I put it in here, it kind of framed the numbers. And so that's kind of why I like that in there. And then I'll add a few more things in that. And this one I just left really simple. I left it as the paper inked around it and then just used a rub on there. So that one was pretty easy to do. I mean, it went pretty quickly. And then this side of it, you can see again that I used my stencil on that. And I actually stenciled with Tattered Rose ink is the ink that I used, the Distress ink,
That's a
the
perfect
Tattered
color
Rose.
for
I
that,
thought it
isn't
was
it?
just really pretty. I looked at some of the pinks that I had at home and I thought, well, that's really what I wanted. And then again, on here, I wanted to keep, using that green and white stripe to keep that going throughout the book because that was going to be kind of my accent.
I like that,
And I just
Peggy.
put that
That's
in.
really
There's no
nice.
reason for it. I mean, but it looked good. And this down here, this is also a rub-on. I thought that looked really kind of nice in the corner there. So that's why that is there. Again, rounding the corners on that, on the flaps there. So now I'll go to this one right here. This is one of the first ones that I did. I did, just the flap to come up and down. This was the panel that we didn't crease, but I ended up cutting mine to fit. This is panel 5, the green. And then I just used some craft to put inside of it and then just used, some of the papers that I had left over. This is, again, one of the stencils from Tim Holtz. It's I can't remember what it's called, but it's in there. I just had it in my, it was laying on my desk. I used it. And then this is a cut apart. And again, I'm using my distresser to go around there. Again, I said, like I said, that this really spoke to me. This is where I'll journal about, why I didn't do real estate and why I'm here. Because it was a door that opened and it was the right door for me. A rub on right here. And then just from the sticker sheet, I think, daily tasks that I
Peggy,
put
can
on
you
that.
show a distressor so
Yeah.
people know what it
Okay.
is?
So this is the Tim Holtz distressor. And what it is, it's this little ring thing. And you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's little razor blades inside of it. And so what you do with it, and I'm just going to take, this is one of my scraps. What you do with it, because mine too has that little razor piece in there, and you'll just run it across the edge of your paper. And so it distresses that edge. You can kind of see how it roughs that up. Now you can get mean with it because paper doesn't have feelings. So if you want to tear into your paper a little bit, you can do that to get a little bit more interest in it. I think Maggie does that sometimes with hers. But you can do that, and it's so simple. You just run it across the edge of the paper to kind of get that edge. And the one thing I like about when I use a distresser and then I get to ink, I think it just holds the ink so nicely. So, you'll just see it just holds that ink on there, makes that edge nice and dark. And I just really love that part about it.
Peggy,
There
I
it is, a
found your
fade.
stencil. It's called Sparkle.
Yes, and it's a fade stencil. So it fades into it. That's what I
Tim
liked about it.
Holtz
Tim Holtz.
Sparkle.
Yes, I really like that one. That one came out with this Halloween collection, was it?
I
Or
don't
Christmas?
know. I'm
I
not
can't
sure.
remember.
Christmas. I think
Christmas
Christmas.
collection. I really like that one. I have that one on my desk a lot because I use it a lot. And then the back panel, I covered that. And
That's
again,
so cool.
you just kind of selectively um, cut your paper. And so
Oh,
that's what I
nice,
did.
Peggy.
And I cut it so that this part right here kind of folded. I didn't want the whole piece on there. I just
Yeah, I
wanted a
like
little
it.
bit, it folded in. And then I didn't have to really decorate anything on here because it has these beautiful flowers already. All I did was add a little piece of ephemera. This is a little piece of chipboard that I had on my desk. I think it's a Heidi Swap one I don't know, from a while ago. And then the rub-on with the butterfly. And then, I use the other part of it just to go here. And this is this too is rub-on. But this is so pretty. I didn't think it needed any more
It
decoration.
is really.
So I didn't want to do
It
anything
was the
else with that.
perfect collection
Yeah,
for your
it
retirement
was. It really
information.
was. Now we have one more panel to do. Do we have time? We're
Yeah.
gonna go real fast on here.
Okay.
Okay. So anyhow, I just wanted to kind of show how I would decorate, a panel. And so got
Oh,
my
so
pieces cut.
okay, so we are
Hmm.
actually going to do one of
Yep.
Peggy's panels,
Hmm.
everybody. So
So
hang on to your
yep.
hats.
So I just got the this stencil right here. It is set number 10. And I actually bought it for this, but I'm going to use this one on here because I thought
Oh
that
yeah,
just
this
kind
is
of fit on there a
well,
little
it's
bit
a good
better.
one because it has the wood grain and it's
Hmm.
got what you're using, what I
Yep.
call the wildflower,
Hmm.
and then it's got the oh, what would you call that swirly one, Peggy? Swirly,
I think swirly works.
swirly works.
Hmm. And I'm just going to I just have a finger dauber,
Are you using tattered rose?
tattered rose ink with a finger dauber. I mean, I would probably use I would use, this, if I
If you
could have
brought the
found the right pad at home last night, but I couldn't. So the finger dauber was what I brought.
Peggy, you don't see the
Mhm.
comments much
No.
because you're so busy
Yeah.
working, but people are loving, loving all of this.
But I want everybody to know that this is a project that anybody can do. It just, like I said, I think really one of the more important parts of it is, um, you got to like the paper, number one. But, just cutting it kind of strategically, and that'll work for you. And then just experiment with things, and I think that is kind of the fun thing to do. So now you can kind of see my stencil on here. It's not real dark, but that's kind of how I wanted it. I just
Oh,
went
that
with that.
color is
Isn't it
perfect.
pretty? And so then I thought I would take this rub on.
Peggy, I don't think I have
Mhm.
tattered rose at home, but doesn't
It's
mean I
just a
won't
very pretty color.
have it after today.
And I thought this was, I mean, retirement is a new beginning, right? So I thought I would just
So
rub
I don't
this
know
on.
if anyone has not done rub-ons before,
Mhm.
but
Oh gosh, these go
um,
on so,
they work really well. Kind of
yes.
like a lot of people have used the 49 and market, but
Hmm.
you basically cut around what you actually want to rub
Hmm.
on
Yeah.
with the backing.
Hmm.
You don't want to take the whole sheet and try to just
No.
rub a piece of it because you will get pieces of other stuff.
Right, right. I always trim around what it is I want to use. I mean, I've seen, some of the professionals out there that, will do it on the sheet. That's awful brave of them, I think. I'm not that brave.
Peggy,
But when
why
you do it, you just kind of rub it on there and then you just kind of peel that front part off. And there we
and we
have
have a
that.
comment from
Sure.
Anne that I think you're
Anne?
going to love. She's going
Okay.
to make one of these for her antique shopping trip to Province next
Awesome.
month using the everyday
Yes.
junk.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I should grab the
Mm-hmm.
everyday junk just so we can show everybody what it is.
Yeah. Oh, that will be so much fun, Anne. I think you'll just love it. And again, just going to continue with, some of the rub-ons on here. I think these butterflies are so pretty. And the one nice thing about doing this, there's no right, there's no wrong. You just do what you love. You do what you want to do and you do what you
Peggy,
love.
that looks amazing. All you've done is
Hmm.
stencil and add 2 rub-ons.
Hmm. And it's taken me less than 5 minutes to do this page. I mean, that's the joy of it. If maybe I can get
Really,
this
really.
off of it.
If you can get it apart.
Yeah.
That's because
There we
we're all
go.
watching you trying to pull
Right?
it apart.
Exactly. And so then I thought I'd put the littler one up here
Oh, that looks
on
so
the
good.
flower. And again, I really like this turquoise color in this collection. I think it's a great accent color.
Well, I've
It's a
never
little bit
heard
more
you
vibrant.
say before that your 25%
Mm-hmm.
is your accent color,
Yep.
and that's pretty cool.
Yep, my 25% is my accent color. So, you'll look at when you do projects, I think you have to have something that's going to accent to kind of pop things out. And that's what, that 25% color is. It's just that accent color. Now, on this part right here, this middle part, I have this vellum, and I think what I'll do here is journal on here. I thought about maybe,
Oh,
creating a pocket. That was my original idea, was to create a pocket on here, um, just with a couple different pieces that I had left
oh,
over,
sure.
But I'm thinking I have a lot of pockets already. So I think I'm just going to journal. I need a little bit of extra space to journal. So I'm just going to journal on my vellum and kind of ink around that. So that's what's going to go in that. And then this side over here, I wanted to have a little more fun with. And on
You
that
wanted to have a little more fun with.
you know, and
I love
so
it.
I wanted to, I think the one cut apart, there's a cut apart that says, we cannot be who we want. We cannot, we cannot become who we want by remaining who we are.
Here it
And
is.
that one, yeah. So this piece right here, right there.
And you
So
cut
I
it all
cut each
apart.
of those pieces apart because I wanted to ink them
Oh my
all up, and I kind
gosh.
of wanted to, so I just have them here.
This page is pretty amazing that it's called My Story is the
Hmm.
page that
I just
Peggy
love it.
just showed you.
It's wonderful.
And you get two in the
I've cut
collection
so many
pack
pieces
because
of it.
you use the back and the front.
I did.
And by
Hmm.
having two, then Kelly doesn't have to worry about using one up and
Right?
not having another one.
I mean, because there are those of us, and not naming names, but I might be one of them. I mean, if I find a sheet of paper that I really love, I have a hard time cutting into it.
Well, I know
And
because
so, yeah,
we might not be able to get it again.
exactly. But what if I want, if I cut into it, what if the part I cut it into was really the part that I wanted to use? And then I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? Because I've already cut it apart and now I don't have it. So yes, it takes a little more time to kind of cut these apart, but you'll see that as I cut these apart, I also distress the sides of them.
Did you
But I
use
didn't
your
use
brush corduroy then?
I used my brush corduroy.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And these little pieces, a little bit harder to use your distress tool. My distress tool is a little too big on these little pieces. I think the Timples one.
Did you use the tiny one then?
I think this would be great, for these smaller pieces, but because I'm one of those people that never gets to plan ahead or anything like that. What I did instead was I used my fingernail.
Oh,
So
all
if
right.
you
If you
have
got a
that,
fingernail, you
you
can
know,
do that.
if you have that, that little piece that you might be a little bit afraid to, um, um, put under your distressor, use your fingernail. It works, and then just ink it up. That's what I did.
I don't think I've
So
seen you use the paper distresser before. So
I actually use it a lot.
do you?
I do. I
Okay.
really like it a lot, depending on my project. Now, if I'm using a lot of bright colors, I'm not going to use it so much. But this one wasn't, one that I was going to use a lot of bright colors on. Here, I actually kind of had this laid out, and I have my little tool. It's right there. And I'm going to cut this.
Is that a ticket from the ticket paper
This
or is
is
that ephemera?
a tag from the tag
Or
paper.
tag. I said
Yep.
ticket, but my brain
Yep.
said tag. I don't
Tag
know
from
what
the
happened.
tag paper.
Oh, you cut it at an
I
angle.
cut it at an angle because I want it to
Oh
sit like this.
my gosh.
Okay.
What a
I want
great
it to sit like
technique.
that. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of glue here.
You need, well, Peggy, I looked for Memory Bound's glue press for you and
Oh, it's over here.
oh, you have it.
I have it.
Okay. Because I was like, I was going to get you the glue press and I looked all over and couldn't find it.
And I am just going to glue just on
So I got it.
the outside edge of it, just on the outside edge, because this is going to actually become a pocket. So the glue is just on the outside edge because I'm going to use that as a pocket. And then I'm going to just put adhesive on the side of this one as well, not all the way across, because this is going to come on top of it. And this is going to create a pocket. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit.
nice.
So it creates a pocket. And then this is the journaling that I'm going to slide in here. And again, I did this the same way. This was a cut apart on one of the sheets. Actually, it was left over from, let's see, left over from this. You can see
What?
right there.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I cut. I cut just below the stitch line and used that and just cut it to my size because I mean it was there and I really like these flowers. And so this is actually going to pop in right here
Oh, Peggy,
underneath
that's so
there.
cool.
And then I'm going to use this and I'm going to attach it.
Looks like a little scrap.
I mean, it's just, again, I want my 25%. So there we go. And this
So,
is kind of
like
my
a little
take.
tab.
Yeah. And I would probably glue it rather than just use adhesive on it because it's going to be a way to pull this out. But that's where that's going to go. So there
Wow.
is that page. And again, here we're going to use the vellum to journal here. And then we have that. And now we have it done.
And is that panel 5,
This
Peggy?
is panel 5.
Panel 5,
Yes.
okay.
And this is the panel that you could cut if you didn't want to
Right,
use it all.
right. Oh my
But yeah, so
gosh.
this is panel 4 right here that I did cut it apart because I can't quite figure out why isn't it scored. But I know why it's not scored. But I just did kind of
So
cut
you
that
can do
one.
your
So
own
you can do
thing.
your
I
own
think
thing
that's
in there,
what's so good
Mhm.
about this
Yeah. So
project.
panel 3,
It's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
panel 2, and panel 1. And so there it is. And it's just so pretty, and it just folds up so nicely.
This is the trouble I had was
Mhm.
folding them up when
Mhm.
Katie had made them, but you basically start from the right
Yep.
and you just keep folding till you
You
get to
start.
the end. So
Yep.
do
You
that one more
start.
time.
You start from the back. So when you open, you open up all of your pieces. So panel 1, panel 2, panel 3,
I feel like
panel
4 should be
4,
5 and 5 should be
and
4.
panel 5. So that's where that is. And you just kind of fold your flips in. And again, you don't have to have those flips. If you'd rather just have it look like that, you can, or, just one of the flips. So then when you go to fold it up, you fold in the back flap, you fold it over, you fold it over, and it's
all
done.
together.
And it all stays together and it works so well. And I mean, I have a lot of stuff in here and it still is nice and flat. It isn't bulgy or anything like that. And then I just use a Tim Holtz plate. I didn't bring one of those over because I'm not sure. It was an old one that I just put on the spine. And it says, "Live a story worth telling." And there's a number of those around that you can use if you want. So yeah, so I mean, this project came together so quickly. I mean, you saw how quickly we were able to put it together. Initially, our first one, from it probably took longer to cut the panels than it did to put them all together.
Word plaques from Tim Holtz,
Yep.
Peggy.
So like the word plex, live your story. That would be a great one, to go, in here too, because like I said, this is something I wanted
is
to
your
tell
story.
a story. Instead of that, I could have put, live your story there. You could put that, on the back too. Anywhere it's going to work. It's just, the joy of, the junk journaling and, the art journaling and things like that, go ahead and try things out that you don't normally do because it's paper. It's okay. If you mess it up, sometimes those become the happiest of accidents. So,
Yes, I
you just
agree
never
with
know.
that.
You never know what it's going to be. And just have fun with it. And I think that's one of the things I really enjoy about stenciling is, there really isn't a right or wrong with stenciling. You can go dark, you can go light, you can cover it up, it doesn't matter. It just really a lot of fun to do. And um, it's easy to do. So
Is that a bullet?
yeah, that one is. Mhm. Yep. And again, I use beautiful junk from Photoplay on this collection. I use the paper pack, but you can buy the individual sheets. I used the rub-ons and I used the ephemera package. So if you want to buy just the individual sheets on here, the papers that I used were To-Do List, My Story, turn that around. Amazing, and it truly is an amazing sheet of paper. You can use the front and the back there. Good Life, which is just so pretty. I mean, look at that. That floral is gorgeous. And then the tag sheet called Flea Market, which I really like. And the backside is just a beautiful
It
floral
looks like
as well.
wallpaper, and you
Yeah,
use the sticker
it
sheet,
looks like the
right?
wallpaper
Also,
from my grandma's house.
it does.
You know, and yes, and then the sticker sheet. And the sticker sheet has so many beautiful things that you can use, whether, you're using the greenery and the flower, or, the little words down here, the word beautiful, the word amazing. I used all of those. These circles are great. All of these things are just wonderful to use, that you can just layer and have a lot of fun with. And again, when I use my sticker sheet, I automatically, as soon as I take
I
that
know,
sticker
you're
off,
funny.
I'm using my powder tool because I'm making it a die cut rather than a sticker, because I'm indecisive and don't know exactly where it's going to go. So that's why I do it that way. That way I can move it around. That way I can layer things on top. So again, I mean, I just kind of, this project is just fun, just to flip. I found myself, walking into my scrapbook room, from time to time, just to flip.
I think you just want to keep
It's just
looking
kind
at
of
it. I
fun
think
because
that's
it
part
just
of
keeps
creating
coming. Yeah.
projects.
hmm
Peggy, could you show
So,
this also,
yes.
that we do have
Uh-huh.
directions
Yes,
from
we do
that?
have the directions. It shows you where, your front panels. And again, the paper that I used on mine, the Color Vibe Warm White was the base that I used on this. And then I used the beautiful junk for each of the 5 panels. So 2 covers, you'll need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock to make your covers. And then you'll need 5 12 by 6 pieces to do each of your panels. And it tells you exactly the dimensions to cut each of those panels. So, and really the directions are quite easy. Uh,
They're
to follow,
$1.29
yes,
and
and you can
they're
use it over and
available.
over again, as we showed, from my album to Katie's, Disney one with all of her different flips that she used. I mean, hers looks a lot different than mine, even though we started with the very same base. It's just a lot of fun. You can do whatever you want on here. Add what you want. Just have a lot of fun too.
Let's show that one
The
again.
October one. And again, there's your panel
Once you
one.
make one, I
Yeah.
think then you can set
Mhm.
yourself free
Right?
and
Mhm.
adjust it and change it up and be
Yeah.
creative with it.
Exactly. And just it's just a lot of fun. You can create pockets anywhere in them, and it's just a fun thing to do. So that is
And
really a
then
lot of
Peggy,
fun.
would you show both of those?
Yep.
We've had a lot of questions
Uh-huh.
about the collection
Okay,
and
so
both of
I'm
the
going to start
collections.
with Everyday Junk. Everyday Junk is the collection that Diane used for her cards that she did with the craft along last week. And this is just beautiful. I mean,
It's just so fun.
it
It's so
is. I
vintagey.
love the brownie golds. They're just, it's a warm colors,
My
and
gosh, I have a
they're
new
just
Peggy.
beautiful.
I have a new Peggy word. Brownie golds.
Brownie gold. Yeah, I like brownie golds.
I love
So I
it.
like the warms. I mean, look at the books there, and I mean, this
Like
two
brushed
shelf has.
corduroy would be a brownie
Yeah,
gold.
exactly.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
so pretty. And then, we come to, the beautiful junk. And this is more, a little bit more summery, but it's just so pretty. Like I said, that turquoise just pops out, and the florals are so beautiful. I think Photoplay did a great job with that. And then, the inks I used, brush corduroy, the tattered rose. If you want to, use a little bit of spritz, I actually did spritz mine a little bit here. But I have like the peel paints spritz and saltwater taffy. I thought would be a really pretty color with it as well.
That
I
is
think it
pretty.
goes really well with it. So if you can see that, I
Goes
think
well
it's
with
really
tattered
pretty.
rose.
So yeah, it's just really pretty to add some things. And then of course the gems. We use the honeybee gems in the warm pearls, which I think just a great collection. You can see that throughout. The distressor, if you don't have a distressor of some kind, you need to get one, because it just,
It's a basic.
it's a
It's a
great, yeah,
staple
it's a
tool, and
nice
it's
tool to
with
use.
Peggy, is
Mhm.
it like $7? Can
Yeah,
you
it's
tell
not
us?
very, it's $6.99.
So
Yep.
it's like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
$6.99.
So a great tool to use. And as you can see, mine I have had for years. So it's not like they wear out. You can use it over and over and over again. And then of course the stamp set. And I just like that just because it's just a nice little addition, whether you need to put that like on a travel page or in like a journal like this, bucket list, do a, your junk journal, any of those things will work. So
Okay, well, we're going to
so
flip
yeah,
the
we're
camera
gonna
here.
okay.
Let's go back to this view so we can see
All
Peggy,
righty.
and there
Yeah.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Peggy, you aren't watching comments, so you're not
No.
seeing all the amazing comments. People absolutely love the project.
Mhm.
They love
Lisa,
the
I think you're
collection.
right. You needed to order more because, well, order both, right?
You
Because they
need
are
both.
just so beautiful. They are so beautiful, and just versatile and fun to use. I think both collections, um, they lend themselves to folios like this. You can do beautiful pages.
You could, yeah,
Heritage
that
albums, I
would be
think, would
very
be
good for
gorgeous too.
heritage. I think
So,
your
yeah.
collection, Beautiful Junk,
Hmm.
would be good to honor a
Hmm.
mom or a
Yeah.
grandma.
Hmm.
And or you
Yeah.
could do the same
Hmm.
project with
Yeah.
Doodlebug or whatever if you
Exactly.
get the directions.
And then the stencils. I mean, stencils are just a great little tool as well to add, just a little bit of color onto a page if you want
You
to
want to
add.
show the stencils,
So,
Peggy, over
yeah.
here?
Oh, sorry. Yep. I'm sorry. Where I'm going. Okay.
We
So right
moved.
here, I'll
We
put it in
changed the
front of my
view.
sweater. You can
Oh
kind of
my
see it.
gosh, yes, we can
So,
see that really
kind of
well. I wish I
the
could
more
remember the name
florally
of that
one.
one.
I don't
It's
know.
in the set. She's got the
Yeah.
small set,
I've got the
and
small set. This is set number 10 of the mini
so
ones.
that's an older set
Yeah.
then, isn't it?
Yep, it is. And then the wood grain. I mean, can you go wrong with the wood grain?
No, you
With
always need a
anything?
good
You
wood,
do.
right?
Yep.
Just ask
So,
Maggie.
yep, you do. You do.
All
So,
right.
yeah, so there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Um, and I hope you guys try it out. I think it's just a really fun thing to do.
Well, Peggy, thank
Hmm.
you so very much.
Yep.
You missed all the comments, but the project is beautiful and everybody is loving it
Well,
and
thank you.
they love it. And I'm so glad you're
Hmm.
here and kind of, I wouldn't say resurrected, but kind of brought back some directions on a mini
Yeah.
book that we've done in the
Hmm.
past, but in a whole new way.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were junk journaling, and I thought that just looks a lot of fun to add, all this other stuff. And when I sat down to kind of think about it, it's the only thing that kind of kept coming back to my head was you need to do something to document retirement and add things to it and, throw
And
things
that's
in. And
perfect.
that's what worked for
Yeah.
me. So, I, it just, that's how this became what it is.
Well, thank you so much,
So just kind
Peggy.
of ran with it.
Janet, thank
Hmm.
you for
Yes.
being our linker.
Yes. Linking everything for us.
And
And,
then we'll be back tomorrow with
mhm.
Fabric Friday with
Ooh.
Teresa, and she has a new pattern. So she's got a
Mhm.
new pattern for us, and we got in the new fabric, the neutral palette from the Tim Holtz
Ooh,
palette program. So
I can't wait to see that.
we're gonna show you all of that, and
Mhm.
that's all happening tomorrow. Same channel. We'll see you then,
Yep.
everyone, and have a great, great rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.